Do you think it's a good idea?
Oh, great Scott. No, I saw this morning and I thought it was a joke when I heard it. I think it's a terrible idea.
Why?
Well, certain films do lend themselves to becoming stage productions and musicals. Back to the Future is certainly not on that list. I don't want to see it fundamentally as a production. I'm curious, but I just think it's a terrible idea.
Tim, what do you think?
I think it's back to, as Simon says, a very terrible idea. I mean, we've seen a lot of these musicals, Legally Blonde, for instance. We've currently got Dirty Dancing and so on in the West End. But these guys, they think that they're going to get a property, they think it's valuable, and they think they can exploit it. But the fact is, these shows have to be judged very much on their own merits. And I mean, they made a very unsuccessful play, admittedly not a musical, of The King's Speech. And I think everybody thought, my God, we've seen this film now on the TV, we've probably seen it on DVD, we've seen it at the cinema, we've had enough of it. Why can't they do something original? The great theatres put on original work, original stuff.
Okay. Well, Simon, how do you see Back to the Future being transported from the big screen onto the stage? How are they going to do it?
Well, I mean, the thing is, visually, I think it'll be very impressive because you can do a lot with technology. I mean, look at Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the glass elevator, Chitty Bang Bang with the flying car. So I think technically they'll be able to do lots of exciting things with the DeLorean and with sort of multimedia stuff these days. It will look stunning. But I mean, it's just a case of whether the film itself will actually transfer. Music is a big part of Back to the Future. Huey Lewis and the News had some fantastic tracks in it, and it's got a fantastic natural score. But I mean, what you're going to build around? You're going to make songs out of Marty McFly getting in a DeLorean, and Biff Tannen's going to have a song and dance number? No.
Well, the producer's going to be the guy who's responsible for Ghost the musical. That's been an enormous success, hasn't it?
Well, and they've got a very good director too. Who's the director? I've forgotten his name. Jamie Lloyd, who of course put on The Commitments. But I guarantee what they will do, which is the biggest cop-out on the world, there'll be lots of big cinematic backdrops in this, and this is what they did in stuff like The Wizard of Oz. And you think, if I'm going to watch cinematic backdrops, why the hell didn't I go to the cinema?
OK, well, let's have a look at some of the films that have already been made into musicals and see what you guys think. I think we're going to have a look at Bodyguard first. Let's have a look. Well, the film was obviously an enormous success with the fantastic Whitney Houston. We've got Beverly Knight on stage. She's an enormous draw, I imagine, for many.
Well, I'm actually going to see that tomorrow night. I'm taking my mother. It's her birthday present. I've heard nothing but great things about this, and it has transferred well. But that is a film, don't forget, that is fundamentally about a pop star. There are big musical numbers in there, so that does work perfectly. But if we're going to start with Back to the Future, I mean, what next? Ghostbusters?
Well, let's have a look at Legally Blonde. That's up next.
This window. Had you ever gotten a perm before?
Yes.
How many would you say?
2 a year since I was 12. You do the math.
Tim?
I called this Legally Bland when I reviewed it. I mean, the worst of these musicals are just a series of rather big numbers joined together, with a flimsy bit of plot stuck together like a rather cheap sandwich.
Is that just because you didn't enjoy the film? I mean,
I enjoyed the film. The film was fun. The film had a sense of humour. The show was completely humourless. I can't remember a single song from it. They did what they could with it, but I would rather that they tried something new and fresh and original. And it's not like we don't have talented writers, composers out there.
Do you like it, Simon?
I didn't actually get to see this one, unfortunately. It was on my to-see list. But, I mean, The Lion King is a good example of another film that's become hugely successful as a stage musical, currently touring the UK and still, putting bums on seats every night in the West End. And Frozen, Disney's latest movie, that is being turned into a Broadway musical. So it can work, but Legally Blonde, it lends itself to that. It's kitschy, it's campy, and it's full of, chutzpah.
Well, talking of chutzpah, let's have a bit of Dirty Dancing next.
Now I had the time of my life. No, I never felt like this before. Yes, I swear it's a truth.
it's going to be very difficult with this one for me. Patrick Swayze was so fabulous in the film. I mean, whoever played that guy had a lot of big shoes to fill.
I think everything finds perfect expression. It may be perfect as a book, it may be perfect as a film, and it may be perfect as a show. And I think, why, when the film has been so great, do you have to then make a musical of it? I don't think this show is much good. I think I give it about 1 star. But people go because they like the film. But why can't they just get the DVD?